Yeah, I'm really excited to join my good friend Suchit.
I said he was my best friend,
Ouch.
but I guess I'm just his good friend. Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel, The Football Showdown. This is a new segment with my best friend, the Dial Square Football Show. We're gonna talk about post-match Arsenal, like the tactics, the analysis about our game, the play ratings. We're going to preview the next week's game. We're going to make few predictions about the top six teams that are going to play in the Premier League, and probably my favorite segment in that is going to be discussing about the most unpopular opinion on Twitter, because on Twitter there are a bunch of weird takes by people, so we're going to discuss about that as well. So if you guys are new here and you want to keep supporting us, do like this content, do subscribe to this channel, and do switch on the bell icon, because we will be posting anytime, every time that Arsenal are playing, be it the FA Cup, Premier League, UCL, or even the Carabao Cup. So welcome to everyone out here. Before I say anything else, I just want to introduce my best friend, Salman.
Hi everyone. It's a great privilege to be here with my good friend Suchit. It's been long. We have been planning this. Initially, we used to study together in college, and we always had a plan to promote a safe and a proper speaking forum for Arsenal. So this is our attempt at it. Hopefully, you all will like it. And I'd like to share as to why we have named it the Dial Square Football Show. So this is just a nod to our favorite club, Arsenal, and its first name. So for those of you who don't know, Arsenal was named first as Dial Square Football Club. So it's just an homage to Arsenal's first ever name, and as true Gunners, I think that was only appropriate. We went with that.
Yeah. Well, looks to be that I'm still his good friend, and he's my best friend. So I guess with time we can like still progress from that, from being a good friend to being best friends. Um, initially, this entire YouTube thing was supposed to be with him, but due to some personal and technical reasons, it wasn't possible, and I had to start because I needed sanity from all the struggle that I'm having right now in the US. So, but this segment, I know I can't do this by myself without him, because he's more like the stats guy, the history man, you name it. He's got the information from probably the early ages of Arsenal and to the present, and he's been that guy from the start. He's probably brought in the idea of me supporting Arsenal. I did have best friends watching the Arsenal, but this guy actually made me sit down with him, watch the Arsenal game. I think it was against Southampton, Arsenal versus Southampton, where Xhaka scored that free kick. I still remember that's the first match I've ever watched Arsenal play. So yeah, from then on, it's been a great journey, and we hope to make it big and be like how we said it, a safe space for all the people who want to speak about Arsenal or football in general. So yeah, that's our attempt to make it clean, best as best as possible. So let's just go to our first segment, that is play ratings and our analysis about the entire game. So Salman, I don't think it was a shock to many people where David Raya started for Arsenal. I felt throughout the entire game he didn't have much to do, so I wasn't really that excited about Raya. But my own opinion is that Raya isn't that big of an upgrade to Ramsdale, so making sure that we invest about like 20 to 25 million just to buy him from Brentford isn't much of a thing, because I don't think he's an overall upgrade of Ramsdale. Yes, he has great abilities that Ramsdale doesn't have. Again, Ramsdale have few things that Raya doesn't have. It's more like each of them complement on different aspects of the game, but none of them is an overall upgrade to each other. But again, if you look at the big picture, like I broke out the news from our inside information that once we buy Raya, we will be putting in a loan bid for Ivan Toney. If that is the case, I guess it's all right. But if you just look at it from a single perspective, that okay, Raya with Ramsdale in our goalkeeping section, I'm not sure how I think about it. But with the game, I think he had a good game with that great pass in starting. I mean, in the end, where it broke out to Jesus to Trossard, and that's how I felt the game was dead. My rating would have been a 6.5 to 7. What is your opinion?
Yeah, first of all, I have to agree with the fact that Raya is not an astronomical upgrade over Ramsdale. Um, but I think if you look at the way games play out against us, is generally we having majority of the ball and pinging passes, trying to break down opposition. In around 80% of our matches, that would be the template, so to say. But in that, it becomes really important to defend set pieces, defend crosses, defend the long balls, and I think that is where Raya clears Ramsdale in a big way because I feel Raya's cross collection and general um, distribution is quite better than Ramsdale, in my opinion. But as you say, to invest 25 million just for that, because Ramsdale's itself is not really bad. Like he's okay at crosses, he's good at distribution. You can question that move,
Hmm.
but I feel I think Arteta, we know that he when he's set in his ways, he feels about a certain player in a certain way, he will go with that. So I feel Arteta trusts David Raya more, and it eventually boils down to that.
Hmm.
Um, Now coming to the match, I would agree with your rating in I would say 7 out of 10 because I felt that pass. I think it's not. It looks easy sometimes,
Hmm.
to make that pass, but it was on the plate to Gabriel Jesus on the run. It was a great pass, and I think he also made one or two saves. Could have one mistake in that match
Oh
just
yeah.
makes the
Oh
match
yeah, I
much
forgot where
different.
he created that mistake and then again saved it up with
Uh,
a good save. So I guess it kind of
because at that moment, if we concede 2-1, again, something
hmm.
creeps in. So I would say he had a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay, okay. Next player, let's go with Ben White. What do you think about his performance and what's your rating for him?
Yeah, in these matches, Ben White is your solid player. He'll give you a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10.
Hmm.
Nothing special. I always feel that we can upgrade at right back. It's always been one of my pain points in the current team.
Hmm.
I like Ben White. It's nothing against Ben White. I feel he's just a center back more than a right back.
Hmm. Hmm.
I feel a more attacking right back will open up so much more for us.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, today, yes, means in the previous match, White was perfect. I would say no mistakes. Did well in attack. Supported Saka,
Hmm. Hmm.
but nothing special. So 6.5 out of 10.
Cool.
Yeah.
My rating would be a 7 because it's a clean sheet after a long time for the Arsenal backline, and he looks fresh after the entire Dubai trip. And like you said, I honestly think that we could do with a right back, but also there's another part of discussion that we can talk about why we don't need a right back, right back. But we'll talk about it later. So my rating would be a 7 because of the clean sheet. What do you think about the centre back pairing, Saliba and Magalhaes?
Yeah. So Saliba now, if we are accustomed to the usual
Hmm.
7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, it's like if if you pick any Arsenal scoreline
Hmm.
and you see Arsenal has won, it's probably because Saliba had a good game.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if you see an Arsenal loss or Arsenal draw, it's probably because Saliba or Gabriel had a poor game.
Hmm. Hmm.
For example, Fulham, where they both had, I would say, poor
Hmm.
games by their standards.
Hmm.
So yeah, Saliba was for me 7.5 out of 10. Just because Mateta is not a, Mateta is not a striker which will say will give you fear,
Hmm.
but he's still a physical striker, and
True.
Saliba and Gabriel, they easily saw him off.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, with Gabriel, I have to I have to say 9 out of 10 because he basically should have had a brace, which is funny
True. True.
considering
True.
our attacking
Hmm.
woes recently.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm still surprised Premier League didn't give him the second goal because I felt it was going in
Yeah, yeah, I
anyways.
think if
But
it was a striker, they would have given the goal to the striker and not the
yeah,
goal, not as an own goal. But yeah, true.
Gabriel is like he's very underrated. he's so underrated by
Hmm.
the entire Premier League, I feel, even by our fan base,
Hmm.
because Saliba is more of that player, he's so eye catchy to watch.
True,
Like
true.
he's so silky on the ball.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
Gabriel is equally effective,
Hmm.
and yeah, uh, beautiful performance. 9 out of 10. I don't think that's what you want from your center back on corners. Come take a
Hmm.
goal,
Hmm. Hmm.
kill them. Like early goal, and that set us up for the victory.
Hmm. I mean, the stats say that we've scored about like 13 goals from set pieces. That says a lot about how we score. Your overall rating is a 9 for the pairing, or is it 9 for Magalhaes and 8 for Saliba? Like,
7.5 for Saliba and 9 for Magalhaes.
okay, okay.
Uh,
I would actually say about an 8 for Saliba because though Paris didn't have much of an attacking threat, but I think the way he held up Mateta so that Eze, though he dribbled past our midfield and was getting into those spaces, he made sure that there was no player available so that Eze could pass it to. So I think that broke down a lot of Palace's attack. So that's why I give him an 8. And Magalhaes, a 9 would be fine, but since it's a clean sheet, it's been a while since we had a clean sheet, so it's a win. It's a big win too, and he's the one who started our winning. When when our attackers were not getting goals, Margulies was the one who scored and like broke that shackles for us. So I think I would give him a 9.5 just because why it's been a great game. My man of the match as well. So yeah. What about
yeah,
Zinchenko?
there's no doubt. Uh, Zinchenko, I would say Zinchenko would be 8 for me comparatively,
Hmm.
because Zinchenko, I know about the issues defensively. Everyone does.
Hmm.
It's like there's nothing more to talk about that, to be honest.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
um, Zinchenko just gives us so much in attack. He opens so much more avenues
Hmm.
for us in attack.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and he brings many players into the game
Hmm.
compared to, I think he might be the most influential player in that way in our team.
Hmm.
But uh, so yeah, that's why I feel that he had a great game. He helped us, break down Palace,
Hmm.
and he helped us in attack, and he defended well. I felt yesterday.
Hmm.
They were one or two times they went to him, but he held his own.
Hmm.
So if he does okay defensively, Zinchenko is a solid 7.58 every game.
Hmm.
But the problem with him, his ratings come down because he has defensive issues. But when he has a okay defensive game and a proper defensive game, he's always a 8 out of 10 for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, 8 out of 10 for
Right.
Zinchenko.
So my opinion about have getting a right back is not that of an important thing because we have left backs like Zinchenko or Timber who can play as a left back or even Tomiyasu, right? So I feel we need three defenders who are like solid at the back. And what gives Ben White I mean, what gives Arteta the privilege to play Ben White as a right back is because when Zinchenko is going forward, we'll have three proper centre backs who are playing. And when we're going back into a defensive position, you'll again have Ben White going back to the right back position, being again solid and defensively. So I think though he doesn't give us
But
those many
yeah,
attacking returns, like how you would hope from a right wing back or a present day right wing back, I feel defensively we do need Ben White a lot more than a traditional right wing back much more attacking.
but in that case, the argument would be that maybe you have someone like Tomiyasu or Timber.
Hmm, hmm,
I would not say Timber because we have only seen very few, and
hmm,
I know a lot of Arsenal fans are excited by Timber,
hmm, hmm.
but he could be a bust, and we all are getting excited for nothing.
True, true.
But with Tomiyasu,
Hmm,
I would say, because we have seen Tomiyasu being really solid defensively
hmm,
and giving us a lot in attack
hmm,
too.
hmm,
So that's my argument that maybe we have. I in my ideal starting 11, Ben White doesn't have a place. To be honest,
hmm,
I think Tomiyasu is my starting right back.
hmm, hmm,
But as they say, availability is the best ability,
hmm,
and
hmm.
Tommy has a lot of injury issues. So
Right.
that hasn't, come into fruition in the way
Hmm.
we want. But hopefully, after the Asia Cup, when he comes back, Tommy will be fit and firing,
Yeah.
and we can, go ahead, with
True,
him.
true. So my rating for Zinchenko would be a solid 7.5 because of the clean sheet and how influential he was in that midfield. So let's go to the
Yeah.
exciting part of our lineup, the attacking phase of it. Let's go with Declan Rice. What's your rating?
Oh, this is a tough one because Declan Rice is very tough to rate.
Mm,
He's like he has every game is very similar with him, even when he has good games and he doesn't have bad games as well.
mm,
So, but honestly, it might be a surprise, but I'm going with 7 for
mm,
Declan
mm,
Rice because I don't think he because I don't think he changed the game as much as like there was. I don't think we would have lost that game without Declan Rice. Like we would have still won that game,
mm,
and I think the scoreline also would have been pretty big
mm,
without Declan Rice
mm,
also.
mm,
And we also saw like we'll come to it later, but we saw Jorginho come and create a chance
mm.
from the same position,
True.
whereas Declan Rice didn't really do that in that sense in the entire match. So,
Mm, mm,
but he did his defensively and he, mopping up, passing,
mm,
getting the ball forward. He did that all well as he usually does. So 7 out of 10 for me.
mm. I would give him a 7 or a 7.5 because he's the one who assisted Margulis in that first header. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, I didn't
Many
notice
people
that.
didn't notice that. Like I personally thought it was Trossard, but after I saw the replay, I was like, oh, okay, it's Declan Rice. So yeah, so I would give him a
Okay,
7 or a
then
7.5.
I would agree with that.
I
Like,
think a 7.5 would be good because he had a clean game, didn't do like extraordinary with his passes. He didn't have to as well. So and with the assist, so I'll give him a 7.5, solid 7.5. Next
yeah,
one,
I agree with that.
Odegaard. What do you think? How do you think he was?
Yeah, Odegaard, I would say 7.5 or 7.75 should be a rating, I would say.
Okay.
He was, I think, between 7.5 and 8. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there were moments like he was 8, and he's like, Odegaard is crucial to us, like, because there's no hiding from that fact. Like, there are moments in big games, sometimes he hides a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that, but he's a vital clog to our team, and when we have to break down opponents, we need Odegaard, and the work rate from a captain to get that work rate from Odegaard, it's like for me that just automatically puts him at a 5 or 6,
Uh-huh.
which doesn't matter what game he has. And then after that, his abilities. So yeah, I'll be generous. I'll give him 8. I think he had a great
8.
game. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I was going on more like he had a basic game. He didn't have those line breaking passes, or he didn't like press that was forcing the team to like go into the defensive cell. So I think he had a basic game like how a captain or how an Arsenal player should be playing. So I think I would give him a 6.5. That's not me being harsh.
Ooh.
That's just being like, he had a basic game. It's not like
Yeah.
he didn't like do anything extra. Did he score a goal? No. Did he?
Maybe
Did he? Huh?
maybe I was too generous.
Yeah.
Maybe I became too generous.
Probably. I don't know. It's my
But
opinion. Yeah.
I would, yeah, I would say, okay, if it's allowed, I'll change my to 7.5. I
7.5.
think 7.5 would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because,
Because I know who's coming next, and based on that, I give my ratings. But okay, yeah,
the next thing, yeah. So yeah, mine would be a 6.5
the
because
polarizing man. Oh
uh,
God.
uh, 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 mine would be 6.5 because yeah, he didn't have a pre-assist to an assist, nor did he have a goal, nor did he assist. So I think he had a basic game, so that's why 6.5. Next one,
Hmm.
probably it's going to polarize a lot of fans out there. Probably it's going to be polarizing between me and Salman as well. So it's Kai Havertz. What is your personal opinion, without any bias, without any uh, you know any or generosity or anything? Just be you. Tell us what do you think about Havertz's performance and
Okay.
your ratings.
As okay, Havertz's performance yesterday was nothing to write home about.
Mm.
It was like he did his like as you described Odegaard. I felt Havertz's performance was like that.
Mm.
Like he did his thing, he passed and he put the ball forward, but he didn't really get into the box as
Mm.
much as I know he can.
Mm.
So my rating for him yesterday was 6.5
Mm.
because I feel he didn't affect the game as I know he can.
Mm.
But apart from this game, my opinion on Havertz is I'm I'm like if you can so call it pro Havertz. Like
Mm.
I I I believe that he has capabilities, qualities that can help our team.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's a unique footballer.
Hmm.
I think there's no doubt about that.
Hmm.
Like there are very few players you'll find in the world who has his kind of skill set.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was an this was a issue, or this was a point which happened during Ozil's time at Arsenal
Hmm.
too, that people judge a lot of players just by body language.
True.
This happens a lot with some players I see,
Hmm.
and it really kind of bugs me that they'll show extra passion and people will think that they are giving more for the team,
Right.
like, or they are better players.
Hmm.
That is not the case in my opinion.
Hmm.
Just because someone is more calm in or languid in their uh, way they play or way they are reacting to stuff doesn't mean
Hmm.
they are not giving to the team.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I remember a stat, I think around 5 or 6 years ago,
Hmm.
when Ozil was at Arsenal, there was this entire narrative by a lot of people like Michael Owen or someone that Ozil is a lazy player.
Hmm.
And then I think statistics came around January that Ozil had covered the most distance of any Arsenal player.
Hmm.
So then then that narrative is out of the window, because if he's covering the most distance, how can he be a lazy player?
Hmm.
But yeah, so with Havertz, I think, yeah, there's that issue of, he doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. That's an issue. He has that issue, and that I think that issue happens as to us with Odegaard also.
Hmm.
And they have just their personalities are such that they do not have that assertive nature
Hmm. Hmm.
sometimes.
Hmm.
Like imagine Havertz with a mentality of like Kevin De Bruyne or Ronaldo, or like that mentality,
Hmm.
like I'll go and kill the game.
Hmm.
Then Havertz would be a different beast.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I feel that this is going towards another Xhaka situation where people will keep underrating him and not really understanding his value, and then
Hmm.
suddenly the last 1 or 2 seasons before he leaves, everyone will be like, "Where is Xhaka? Where is Havertz?" It'll be like
Hmm.
so.
Hmm.
I think let's appreciate Havertz when we can,
Uh,
and let's get supportive. I feel like I understand the Chelsea connection, but let's forget it. It's done. It's over.
hmm.
Let's support Arsenal players for what they are. They're Arsenal players. We need to be behind them
Hmm.
till the moment they leave the door.
Hmm.
I have a lot of opinions about several of our backup players,
Hmm.
but as long as they're Arsenal players, I will always support them and hope they do good for Arsenal.
Hmm. So what's your rating?
Oh, my rating, I think I said it, but maybe you missed it. 6.5
Six
out
point
of
five.
10 for Havertz. Yeah.
My dear, like you said, it was a very basic game. My opinion about Havertz is like still I'm on the fence, right? I'm not going to make the mistake about like how I did with Xhaka. Like he needs to be sold. We need to cash in on him when he's having that good performance and is still like healthy. Um, I'll be very honest. I'm not a very pro Havertz signing because honestly, that my hate for Chelsea is so much that I can't see him as an Arsenal player. But like
Mhm.
the way he started with Arsenal was horrible. You can't deny that. But just before the international break, I felt he had a good streak of 4 to 5 games where he was getting into great positions. Did score about like 3 to 4 goals, but got into great positions like how we wanted Havertz to do, and got into a lot of uh, got into a lot of positions where you don't expect a centre mid to get in, like the example against Liverpool where he played as a centre forward. I felt he had a great game, but obviously he didn't have that
Yeah.
output, like he didn't have that goals and all that to show how good his performance was. So that's why people would berate him because yeah, obviously he did miss a bunch of chances and all that. I agree with the fans, but getting into those positions, I've not seen any other striker in our team get involved that much in a single game like how Havertz got into that game. So it's not simply that Arteta has bought him. I agree to that. I'm not a pro Arsenal just because pro Arsenal. I'm supporting and I'm looking at things how they are. So I think with Havertz, we've got to be patient. I'm still on the fence. Obviously, when he does well, I support him. When he doesn't do well, I'm kind of critical about it. So yeah, I'm fine with it. Regarding player
Yeah.
ratings, would be a basic 6. Captain 6.5, Harvard 6 because I think they had basic
Yeah.
games. They didn't do much. They didn't have to do much. So yeah, and then we'll go to our front three. Where do you want to start? Okay, we'll go with Jesus. What do you think about Jesus?
Jesus was, I think he had a good game.
Hmm.
The assist would bump his ratings a bit,
Hmm.
but other than that, again, I would go with the same. Not nothing too special.
Hmm.
It was a very weird game in the sense that
Hmm.
it was 3-0
Hmm.
for very long periods,
Hmm.
and then it became 5-0, and it kind of looks like we were
Huh.
dominating,
Huh.
but it was not like a kind of a performance where everyone was on 10
True.
performances.
Agree.
But yeah, I would give 7 for Jesus because of the assist and
Hmm.
his general play. His general play is always good.
Hmm.
So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Same, same.
Yeah.
I would give him a 7 as well. Like I can, he didn't do something extraordinary that was like, he's the one who broke Palace's low block to make sure that we got into those spaces to score. Nah, he had a basic game, like a basic Gabriel Jesus game. So that's why I would give him a 7 as well. What do you think about Trossard?
Trossard had the very weird game.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had to go give an example, it would be I remember we watched this game together, and it was a time where we thought we would make the top four, but we missed out. But the
Yeah,
Tavares
yeah,
game at
bro,
against United,
I was legit thinking about this. Like Tavares game against
yeah,
United at Everest back in that 21-22 season was,
21.
yeah, 21-22
Yeah.
season was probably the most dysfunctional performance I've ever
So
seen. He's had a shit game, but he scored. I
yeah,
remember that.
that's what I felt about Trossard's performance.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he was not really good till the moment,
true.
and then but when the moment came, he took
Mm-hmm.
it with great skill,
Mm-hmm.
like with great composure. So I see. I gave 7 for Jesus because of the assist,
Hmm.
but the goal has to be another point 5, so 7.5 for Trossard
7.5 for
because I
Trossard.
think the goal killed the match. So you have to give him a good rating.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um, See, you gave him 7, right?
I gave 7 to Jesus and 7.5 to Trossard.
7.5 to Trossard. Uh, you know what? I'm going to say he's a 7 for me because his performance in the entire game was like, Trossard, where are you, bro? Or
Hmm.
like, what are you doing? But then that
No,
goal
the
changed
sitter he
everything.
missed before that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's why I would give him a 7 just because of the goal, because that killed it. But personal opinion, I do not think it was a great performance from him. So
A
yeah,
great
let's
game.
just keep it as a 7
Yeah.
because of the goal. Yeah. Last but not least, our last starting 11, our star boy Bukayo Saka. I'll start with this. My personal opinion, I don't think he had a good game. Okay, but when compared to the last 3-4 games where we have lost or like drew, I think it is better than that because he's gotten into better positions while attacking. He was able to uh, get away from his defenders better. But that doesn't mean that he's had a great game. Okay, you can probably say otherwise, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. And he's done a typical Bukayo Saka performance. We know how Bukayo Saka can play when it's his day. So for that, I would give him a 6.5 as my rating. What do you think?
You said last but not the least, but to be honest, I felt he was our least performing player in that match. To be honest,
Uh,
along with Havertz.
mm-hmm.
So I gave Havertz, if I'm not wrong, 6.5. So
Uh,
I'll stick with Saka also 6 because
hmm,
I think their both performances are similar. Like
hmm,
did their job, but nothing spectacular, and could have done so much more. But
hmm.
Saka, see, the narrative around Saka that he's tired is getting. I think that narrative is getting tired now.
Ah,
Like after 10 days of rest,
hmm,
you are expecting a player to be tired. Then
hmm,
I don't think he should be a pro anymore
hmm,
after 10 days of rest
hmm,
if he
hmm,
is not able to feel fresh. And he himself has admitted he was fresh after that match.
hmm,
So
hmm,
uh, yeah, there are several factors with Saka's performances recently. The double teaming, other teams focusing on him,
hmm,
and we naturally biasing towards the right.
hmm, hmm,
Uh, so that was one of my most happiest points in this match was that we were not biased towards one side.
hmm,
Thus, we saw, as you said, an improved performance from Saka.
hmm, hmm.
So yeah, I believe Saka will kick on from now. We always believe in our star boy. So 6.5, but it's going to improve from the next match week
Yeah,
onwards.
hopefully, hopefully. Let's just go quickly with our substitutions because I think we've taken a lot of time in this segment. The first substitution that we made was Jorginho. I think was it Jorginho? I think yeah, it was Jorginho. Yeah.
No, first subs were Martinelli and yes, yeah,
No, I don't. You sure?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, huh.
Martinelli, yes, sir, and then Georgie and
Kivior.
uh,
Kivior came in.
Kivior
Okay,
came
huh.
together.
So okay, we'll go with like however short. What do you think about Smith Rowe's performance for about 20 minutes than just 5 minutes?
Yes, uh, sir, promising, very
Promising,
promising.
right?
Smithrow, he's going to play a big role for us.
Hmm.
I truly believe that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know, Havertz and ESR are really good to have as a complementary pair.
True.
They give different things
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So ESR, solid performance. Off the bench, you can't give more than 7. I feel so. 6.5 out of 10.
Okay,
For me.
6.5. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay, I would go. I mean, yeah, it's good to see that he's back to him trying to come back to his position and his fitness. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give him 6.5. I'm just going to give him a 6. If he just came in and just did his job, I would give him a 5. But since he's showing a lot more intent and coming back to his fitness, I would give him a 6.5 and just be a little bit generous about it. Next one,
Yeah.
Martinelli. Probably I'm the
Yeah.
most excited about this because after Reece James, no, sorry, not Reece, why Reece James? After Reece Nelson, my favorite player is Martinelli. Like I've not been this excited even about Saka. Like though Saka is a fabulous player, Martinelli gets me excited like no other
Martinelli
player.
is the kind of player like you can't hate. Like
Exactly.
he's just such a work hard player,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I was very happy first to see Martinelli score,
Exactly.
and those finishes
Uh-huh.
just taking all Arsenal
Yeah,
fans back to Thierry
Thierry
Henry
Henry, and you can
days.
see the admin
So
milking it as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, right?
yeah,
I kind of miss where
so
the admin was milking our goals and all of that. It's been a while. It's been 4 games. So yeah,
plus one for Thierry Henry finish.
ha ha
So
ha.
for me,
What?
6.5, no, 7. I'd go 7.
He scored a brace. He scored a damn brace. What do you with 7?
No, I just feel the match was finished. It was a stoppage time.
Probably it's my bias.
Like yeah, I feel sub. In generally my in my ratings
Hmm.
or something. I feel that sub cannot be more than 7 because most of the subs just come on for
Hmm.
seeing off the game,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
or sometimes you'll have an impact sub. I don't think in this match all any subs were just
Hmm.
for it. They were just there for giving to see off the game.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's why I'm giving 7. But uh, on another day it could be 7.5 also. But I'll stick with 7.
I'm saying an 8. He's there in my FPL. He boosted my FPL with those 11
Yeah,
to
it's
11
fine.
to 13
I
points.
I I went a bit biased with Odegaard,
Okay.
so I love Odegaard. So
I'm going
so
with an.
we can give one each.
I'm going 8. I don't care what you guys say. It's an 8 for me. 2 goals. Boosted my FPL. I'm now in second position after that horrible start that I had from 6th to all the way second. So yeah, Martinelli, bro, if you're watching this or somehow get to watch this, I love you, man. You are an amazing player. Yeah, whatever. Our next player, Eddie Nketiah. For me, I think he had a basic game. Yeah, he did. He did have an assist to Martinelli, which was a great pass to be honest. So for that, I would give him a 6.5 or 6.75.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue much on that one. It's typical Eddie performance. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
I hope to see more from Eddie
Hmm.
as time goes on.
Yeah. Next one, Jakub Kivior. My personal opinion, we've always tried him as a left back, and we've been very critical about how he plays. But I think when he plays as a left-footed centre back, right? I think he's solid.
He looked good.
He looked really good, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just me being like stupid or like being trying to be hopeful, right?
No,
I,
he looked
I
good.
genuinely thought he was good.
He actually has operated in CDM or a centre back
Hmm.
in Udinese, his previous
True,
club.
true. I mean, for Poland, he plays as that
So
as an LCB. So
back three. In the
Mm-hmm.
back three.
But again, like his performance was basic,
Yeah,
so I would give him a 6 out of 10 because clean sheets. Why not? Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
6 out.
I
And
don't think you.
last one, Jorginho.
6.5 for the assists. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, same. I would give him a 6.5 because I think he came into a more difficult position than an attacker where he had to be that lone player and try to like still keep it clean and make sure that we had a clean sheet. So I would give him a 6.5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our player ratings, and that is our analysis about the entire game. The next segment is probably going to be my most favorite because we're going to discuss about the most unpopular opinion that Twitter has for this week in football. It could be any league, it could be about any player that's popping off. So we thought this week we will discuss about uh, the top or the idea that Declan Rice has not improved Arsenal as much as fans are hyping him to be. We will start off with you, Salman. What is your opinion about it?
So this is a difficult one because I don't think I'm going to over exaggerate here. Every Arsenal fan is in love with Declan Rice. Like I don't think there is one Arsenal fan who is going to come here and say, "Oh, I'm not a huge fan of Declan Rice," or "I don't like Declan Rice." So it's a difficult one to see from an unbiased point of view. But I think, to be honest, there is some truth in that statement.
Hmm.
Um, my main point being a, a player called Thomas Partey in our team, a player who makes appearances like the Undertaker once in a while.
Uh-huh.
But there is a player called Thomas Partey, if anyone doesn't know, and and when he comes, I think
Uh,
if we imagine a scenario where everything in the world is perfect
hmm.
and Thomas Partey never gets injured
Hmm.
and Declan Rice never signed for Arsenal.
Hmm.
I don't think the drop off in quality in our performances would be that much.
Hmm.
I think Partey does many of the things Declan Rice does well.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I think there is a truth in that statement. The price point of Declan Rice does come into picture as much as we hate to say it
Hmm.
that the price is not a player's
Hmm.
fault or whatever.
Hmm.
But price does come because he was 100 million for 1 year left on the
Hmm.
contract. We did overpay for sure.
Hmm.
But sometimes, you think of the future. Declan Rice is what, 24, 25, if I'm not wrong, 24 maybe.
Hmm.
And Partey is nearing 31, 30. And, Declan Rice is going to give us, and the way Declan Rice plays, easy 10 years he could give
Hmm.
us at the top level.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you see it in that way, he was a good investment. And the scary thing with Declan Rice, he's already really good
Hmm.
and he can improve a lot.
True.
And people talk about Arteta not really giving youngsters chances and whatever, not improving them. But you could say that yeah, Arteta didn't give them like Saka, Martinelli the initial start, but he improved them.
Hmm.
He is the one who developed them.
Hmm. Hmm.
They were just youngsters when Arteta came.
Hmm.
So you see with Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, he got Saliba's development bang on,
Hmm.
and and he improved Xhaka to a huge extent. So I am hopeful. I'm very excited with what Declan Rice will do in the future.
Hmm.
But currently, yes, I agree. There is some truth in the statement
Hmm.
that yes, maybe Declan Rice did not have the impact uh, that a 100 million player should have had.
Hmm.
Because if you see, there's another 100 million player, maybe in a less difficult league, but yes, you can point at Jude Bellingham
Hmm.
and look at what he's doing at Real
Hmm.
Madrid. So yeah, so I agree with that statement to some extent.
Hmm. True. I mean, like the greatest asset that we have with Declan Rice may not be the fact that he's the way he plays. I think the biggest asset is him being available for us, right? Like you said,
That's why I mentioned a perfect world Partey.
exactly. Like Partey making those cameos here and there with 4 to 5 games and gone for a while. I think, yeah, that's the biggest asset with Declan Rice. The only time that I felt, oh shit, the price tag has been justified was the Chelsea game. He's changed that entire
Hmm.
game by himself. Like I think majority of the players around him kind of gave up. Okay, we're gonna lose this. That's it. But then the way that Declan Rice played that game in the second half, my God, he took it. He took the game
Yeah.
by himself. He's like, I'm going to do whatever I can for the team. Proper captain's game that he's had. With that opening goal from the long range, obviously there's a goalkeeper mistake, but yeah, the way he played the entire game, I think he deserved that goal. And then we equalized. That's the only game that I thought, oh shit, Declan Rice has done really well. There's nothing much to discuss more about because I think you have pinpoint all the points that I always wanted to talk about. But yeah, we've discussed this many times.
No, I
Hmm,
if one final point, if I would add
yeah, yeah.
in this is that sometimes as Arsenal, we Arsenal fans, we don't get much love from the media,
Hmm,
like in terms of appreciating our players.
hmm,
So sometimes when I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans have seen that Declan Rice is getting a lot of love
uh,
from the English media because he's English.
uh,
And then a lot of Arsenal fans have kind of jumped on that. Okay, finally one of our players is getting appreciation. Let's hype him up
true, true.
and let's keep him on that pedestal.
Hmm, hmm,
But
hmm,
there are games where to be honest, nothing special he has done.
hmm,
And I've seen some posts or some tweets like 100 million worth it, which I didn't agree with
huh,
in some of the games.
hmm.
So yeah,
But one thing you got to
that's
agree
the
about
truth
is like
about.
how he, wins the duels with players. Like I don't think
Yeah, yeah,
Partey has that in him. Like he's more like that player
yeah.
when you got players pressing him.
He's more of an attacking
Yeah,
CDM
see,
in a way.
true. And Declan Rice is more like he'll have the ball, he'll hog the ball, but when you need to progress, he'll just run with it. That's what he's been the greatest asset for West Ham all these years. But he doesn't have to do for the Arsenal, so we'll have to see how he improves. There's always a lot of time for him. Not many players have gotten right within the first season. For now, what he's doing great is making sure that we don't miss Partey that much, which is still a big thing for Arsenal because last season we had that great streak of wins because of the way Partey played for us, right? Remember that
Yeah,
great games that we
yeah.
had. So yeah, so the best thing that Declan Rice has done this season isn't the performance and all of that. It's him being available for the team after having a long term
Mm.
after Partey having a long term injury. So that's our opinion. We can still go about talking about for it a long time. We've already hit the 43-minute mark. We initially thought we keep it 20 minutes or 25 minutes, but yeah, 43 minutes is pretty insane. So,
It's
yeah,
it's common
exactly.
when me and Suchi just sit about Arsenal.
Exactly. I mean, I still
We lose
remember
track of time.
during our undergrad days, we had no idea. We just sat around like 10:30 after dinner. It went about like 1 or 2 o'clock. We just talking Arsenal. What did we talk? Nothing. All we did was talk about Arsenal. So yeah, this is just us. Yeah. We're probably going to bore the audience if they're going to watch it. So yeah, we'll just quickly go to the next section. The next segment is where we preview the next week's game, where all the top six teams are going to play in the Premier League. We're going to give our predictions. We're going to keep a tally on how each of us are done with our predictions. So we're going to predict how the game goes, and if you want, you can even predict who's going to score those goals, and we'll probably give an extra 1 point for getting the exact scoreline correct, apart from the prediction only. Okay. So the first game,
Okay.
we'll just be biased about it. Forest versus Arsenal. Arsenal go to Forest. What's your prediction? What's your scoreline?
1-2 Arsenal.
1-2 Arsenal. You know what? I'm going to go bold. It's going to be a win for Arsenal. Obviously, I feel a 0-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah.
0-1.
I think it's going to be a very hard game,
Hmm.
not as easy as a lot of
Exactly,
people
with
are
Forest,
predicting it
I
to
think
be.
the Forest last 5 games they won about three, drew one, and they lost the one against Brentford. But that,
If you watch Forest
hmm,
games, they're always very tight. They're not a team that you can blow out the water.
true, and then going
Mm.
away to Forest itself is a big task.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've lost the last season and the end of the season, obviously. But yeah, whatever. Moving on. The next game is probably easy. Manchester City versus Burnley. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I'll go with 4-0 City.
4-0.
Maybe being generous to
Okay.
4-0.
Is everything okay on your side?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. Okay. A 4-0 City. Yeah, I don't see it any other way. I'll just go 3-0 to City just to keep it fresh. The next one, Tottenham versus Brentford.
Oh, this is a difficult one. Given Tony is back now,
Mm-hmm.
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I would say I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go 2-all, Brent. 2-all. I'm going to go 2-all.
So it's a draw.
Yeah, draw. I'm going for a draw. Hmm.
You know what? It's going to be very biased. I do not care what people think. It's going to be 1-2 to Brentford. It's going to be a Brentford win. I do not care what people say about it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Probably it's going to be the most funniest game or going to be the funniest result. It's Wolves versus United. What's your prediction?
I'm going 2-1 Wolves.
2-1.
I think Wolves will take revenge for the
Oh
first day,
yeah, I
injustice.
forgot about
Yeah.
that. Right. Huh.
And Wolves away, it's a difficult place to go right now.
Hmm.
Spurs have lost there, City have lost there.
Oh yeah, City.
They
City
gave a
did lose.
scare to Liverpool.
Hmm.
Uh, Chelsea lost there. Yeah.
And I think even Neto's back,
So
right?
I'm not sure to be honest,
Okay.
but
I mean, he's in my FPL.
uh,
That's why I was on.
uh, I'm going to go to 2-1 Wolves. I think Wolves is a good team. I think they'll cause United trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I feel it will be a draw. It's going to be like a 1-1 to. No, I'll go with a 1-1 draw to. Yeah, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And last but
Okay.
not the least, the headline game of the week, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Liverpool should have won at Stamford Bridge in the opening week. Um, I personally think it's going to be a Liverpool win, 2-1. For my sake, I hope Darwin Núñez scores, but if I'm being completely delusional, I hope it's a Chelsea win. But yeah, more realistically, looks like a Liverpool win. So 2-1 to Liverpool. Probably Darwin Núñez scoring a brace again. What's yours?
I feel 3-1 Liverpool. Uh, Jota Jota will score one,
Hmm.
and I think Gakpo will score one, and Nunes will
Is it
score one.
Gakpo or is it Hakpo?
Each.
Is it Hapko?
I think it's Gakpo, but just pardon my
No, I don't know. I'm
pronunciation.
seeing a lot of a lot of Liverpool fans saying a bunch of pronunciations, so I'm not sure which one is true. So yeah.
Let's go with Cody.
No,
Cody is
yeah,
one of
Cody. Cody is better. Yeah. Right.
so and I. But I'm gonna go. I'll just throw it out there. I think Chelsea will take the lead in the match. Yeah.
Chelsea will take the lead.
So yeah, I think Chelsea will take the lead through. Uh, I don't know. I don't know their starting 11 these days. So I'm not going to go with that.
It's
So
going to be
Chelsea is going to take the
it's
lead.
going to be crowded if
Yeah.
Jackson goes and scores the first goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's our predictions. That's it for our segment today, the Dial Square Football Show. That's my co-host Salman. He's my best friend from school. Yeah, he's a great guy. I've not put in his socials because he doesn't want all the social media attention. But if you guys think he's done a great show, show your support in the comment section. If other channels want to work with him, do contact me. I will definitely hook you up with him. He's a great guy. He's great with numbers, stats, history, you name it. He's through and through Arsenal. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. I will see you again next week. Bye bye.